Welcome back everyone to our first video on Jurassic World Evolution 3, Frontier Development's latest game and the latest installment in the Jurassic World Evolution 3 franchise. This newest edition has so many incredible things, from dinosaur breeding to a bunch of new attractions to so much more, and we're gonna get into it all today. Here is everything new in Jurassic World Evolution 3. Alright, here we are in my kind of big overview map. There is not a lot of detail in here, I do apologize. Let's see if I can get rid of these notifications. Alright, so there are a bunch of new dinosaurs in this game over here, and I've kind of grouped them all up into kind of their respective sections. So we'll start off over here with the Ankylosaurids. I'm just going to go through these really quickly. A bunch of these have their different kind of variants and stuff like that. We're starting off strong with the Ankylosaurus right over here, very iconic. And I'm really just going to circle through these all. There's really not much I can say about these. This is the movie skin right over here. We also have the baby right over here. I'm going to do my best to show off the babies as much as I can. They're very adorable, and when we actually finish this off, I'm going to take down all these fences. We'll see what kind of happens with that all. But here's a little baby. We also have another baby right over here. We'll talk about dinosaur breeding in just a little bit, but I'm going to try my best to kind of rush through all of these kinds of things in here. So from the Ankylosaurus, we also have the Sauropods. These guys are really awesome. They have these big spines coming off the sides of them. Really cool stuff. We also have a little baby Sauropelta right in here with little tiny spines. It's so adorable. They have a bunch of different color combinations. Again, once you guys are actually in JWE3, the hatchery works the same as it does in any other game. You come in here, you modify the genome, and then you basically play mix and match over here. You can choose whatever pattern, whatever secondary color you want, and then you can just mix and match them. Very cool stuff in there, and it's just a very, very cool thing to have. I don't know. So besides Sauropelta, there is also the Nodosaurus. These guys are super tiny right over here. But yeah, these guys are the smallest Ankylosaurid that we actually have in JWE right now. The Minmi is no longer with us. That is very sad. But that is the Nodo right there. We also have the little baby Nodo. Look at that. Look at all the scoots on there. It's so cool. So from there, we can move into the Sauropods. We're just going to do a very big overview of these guys. We do have the, I believe, the movie Patagotitan. I think that was it. It was either the movie one or the Dreadnoughtus. I think it was the Dreadnoughtus, sorry. Still haven't seen that movie. Oh well. But we do have a bunch of babies for these guys. Again, look how adorable they are. Again, all of these animals now have sexual dimorphism, as little or as much as it can be. Very interesting stuff to kind of play around with in there. Not only that, but we also do have the Apatosaurus. These guys are looking very handsome. We also should have some babies, like this one right here. Look at him. Again, I feel like my game does not have the highest graphics. I've seen other people play JWE 2, and I've seen them have like some of the best graphics ever. But alongside them, we also have the Brachiosaurus. Again, these guys have all of their different variants on them. They have the classic kind of 1997, I think it was. Wherever they are, I'm not too sure. But they also do have the little babies in here. I love how they run around. It is so cute. They have so much personality in here too, which is so good. And there is a whole bunch more. Again, we can go into the site map up here just to get a little bit more of a head down. You can also see the territory start to form, which is fairly interesting. Not only them, but we also do have the Mamenchisaurus, wherever they are. Well, first of all, we could check out everyone's kind of favorite dinosaur in here, the Ankylodocus. So glad that we have these guys. Again, it really wouldn't be JWE if we didn't have these guys in here, you know? But besides them, where are they? Yeah, Dreadnoughtus, Patagotitan. I haven't been losing too many dinosaurs to death, I don't think. Oh, they're literally right against the wall over here. But yeah, the Mamenchisaurus, very cool stuff in there. Again, I am more of an animal person. Well, technically they are animals. I'm more of a living animal person, not really a dinosaur person. Holy crap, look at all these babies. But yeah, I know my living animals a lot more than I do my extinct ones, but I know this one over here. This is the Triceratops. Again, very beautiful job by Frontier on these guys once again. Again, with a whole bunch of different forms on these guys. Actually, not really. They do have the 1997 one, which should be somewhere. But besides that, we also have the little babies in here. Again, they look fantastic right in there. That is so cool. This little tiny guy right over here, Microceratus, very, very tiny dinosaur. Always happy to see that. I'm trying to find one of the babies, because I do think they did have babies. No ancestors found. Can I circle through these? Oh, I don't have the small nest in here, so that's why they haven't had any babies. But regardless, we also have the Nasutoceratops. These guys are very cool. I like them. They look like big old cows. Not only them, but we also should have... Where is my Lokiceratops? Where are they? Well, I guess I could show off Styracosaurus, easily one of everyone's kind of favorite dinosaurs in here. Again, these guys just look so good. Oh my word. Not only them, but we also do have the Chasmosaurus. Again, these guys are known for their kind of large, like big open frill, which is kind of cool to see. I don't know, it's just awesome. So we do have a male right over here. Again, these guys probably have some of the most prominent sexual dimorphism in here. They do have a lot bigger frills. And we also do have babies right in here. You can see them doing their baby thing. It's so cool. Also apologize if it's too loud or too laggy. There's just so much crap happening at once. But we also do have the Lokiceratops, the newest addition to the JWE fam. These guys look so good, and they're actually like one of the first ones that you start messing with once you actually start playing the career mode, which I'll talk about in a bit. But these guys just look so good. Again, that new frontier look on these guys, it just looks so awesome. And just seeing if I missed any Ceratopsids in here, I absolutely did. We have Protoceratops, Spinoceratops. We also have Sinoceratops. And nope, I already checked out the other ones. So yeah, they're all in here. I'm not really going to show off everything in too much detail because I trust other content creators to do better than me. I'm kind of just putting all the pieces in here. So if you guys want to actually get this map, I'll upload it to the Frontier Workshop, which is another thing we'll talk about. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Ceratopsids. Again, we also do have the Spinoceratops. Is that what it's called? Spinoceratops? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm sorry. I like the actual dinosaurs. I don't love the actual dinosaurs. You know me. I'm a big mammal fan. But the hybrids, I just can't get behind them. They're just too silly for me. I don't know. It's strange. But yeah, we also have the Sinoceratops, which is this little fella right there. I like them. All right, moving on from there, we are moving into the kind of Gallimimus family. What are they called? They are called, if I can come over here to herbivores. Where are they? Ornithomimisaurids. Sure. All right, our first Ornithomimus is going to be the Drysaurs. These guys are so adorable. I love the JWE version of these guys so much. I love the PK version too, but there's something about the JWE version that is so stinking cute. These guys have a ton of different color morphs. Again, that is the thing that I love to see in this game specifically, is how they take it to like the next level. Like, these are all genetically engineered animals. Have fun with the colors. I mean, just look at these guys right here. It is so cute. But yeah, tons of color variants on those guys in there. Not only that, but we also do have the Ornithomimus. Try saying that. I dare you to. But yeah, it's just another kind of Gallimimus-like critter in here, which is very cool. I like this color version. This is very bright. I don't know. He has something very cool going on. It just looks so awesome. As you can see, these guys do breed a lot. Again, it's very much in line with the fact that birds and dinosaurs are cut from the same cloth. So it's just very cool to see how many you can have in a big herd. And look at that. They're all kind of running together, which is so cool. They do a herd. Ornithomimus, very beautiful critter right over here. I believe this one is new to the JWE franchise as well. Again, these guys have a very beautiful feather patterning going on right here. Again, just a true testament to how incredible the Frontier artists have gotten with these animals as of late. It just looks so good. So we do have a bunch of females in here, but we also should have a male. Look at that. He is so bright. And they have not bred yet, which is a little bit of a shame. But alas, that's another one of the Ornithomimids that you could get. And we should have Gallimimus right in here. I believe this version is the 1993 version. It does not look like anything I've ever seen. But those guys are pretty handsome, but they also do come in a bunch of different color morphs. Again, you can mix and match these to your heart's content and get whatever colors that you want. They just look so good. And there was another one. I forget what it was called. We already did all those. Struthiomimus. Struthio comes from the Latin word for ostrich. Where are they? way. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool. You can actually start to see them kind of forming their own territories. Some of them kind of have like a bigger grasp than others. But yeah, Struthia right in here. These guys look super cool. I love the clean contouring lines on these guys. It just looks so good. I could talk for hours about like how good the skin texture system works in JWE, but I don't want to bore you guys. They just look so cool. Look at him. He's kind of swimming. All right, that covers it for them. Hadrosaurs. This is a lot, and I'm going to do my best to cover as much as I can, but there's just so much in here that I will absolutely miss. But we do have our Parasaurolophuses. We do have this version right over here, which I do believe is the Dominion version. We also have a bunch of different kinds of them in here. Again, just all the textures on these guys look so good. It's so loud in here. I'm so sorry. We have the Muttaburrasaurus, one of the only dinosaurs that you can actually excavate from Australia in the game. Very cool creature. Very cool creature over here. Again, these guys just look so good. You can tell Muttaburrasaurus from that little conical bump on their nose. Very cool stuff. Not only them, but we also do have the Synthesizing. Love these guys. They have the little funny sail on their head. They just look so good. Again, we also have a bunch of females in here. Again, all those different kind of randomized color morphs in here. I did that to kind of make these herds look nice and bright, but we also do have some babies in here. Again, the babies just look so good. I don't know. I can't get over it. Besides them, we do have Iguanodon right in here. These guys are always so cool to see. There's two different versions of these guys. So there is the normal one, and there is also the JWE one. I know it's very kind of weird how they set it up. So this one is the normal one, but if we come over here, nope, I gotta find it. I gotta find these guys. Yep. Okay, here is the 2022 one. I believe this one was from one of the last movies. That's what I would assume. But yeah, these guys just look super awesome. Again, I like these movie representations of these dinosaurs. I really hope we get a lot more of them because I feel like their skin texture is just so much more accurate and so much more detailed. You can tell they put a lot of love into them. And yeah, the Lux versions are back. I'll kind of switch the game to nighttime because they do include a bunch of other ones with Lux, which is kind of neat. But yeah, Synthesizing, we have a bunch of those. We have Allura Titan. These guys also have that very cool crest, kind of like the Synthesizing, but these guys kind of go back, kind of like the Parasaurolophus. But yeah, these guys are just so awesome. I love the... Sorry, it's just very loud in my headphones. I gotta turn this down. But yeah, I love how these guys look. Again, the babies just look incredible. Once again, it's just so good to see. Right, I have not shown off the Maiasaura or the Edmontosaurus, so we are going to go hunting for them. Again, it's very cool to see how these territories kind of form. Like, it's just very awesome to see. Like, all these different dinosaurs inhabiting different parts of the environment. Edmontosaurus. These guys are so cool. I love them. Again, very unique head shape for these guys over here. They have a very small crest, but they have that very bony, rigid kind of structure on the face, which is very awesome to see. Again, we have sexual dimorphism for these guys. We have a bunch of females right in here. And we also have the baby. Look at them. Oh, he is so adorable. He is so precious. Very cool animal right there. Not only them, but we also have the Maiasaura. Okay, I don't know how you ended up in here with whatever's in this habitat. Oh god, the Pachycephalosaurs. Yeah, that's kind of interesting, but fine, I guess. Okay, at least I can do this. This doesn't really help. This really doesn't help at all. But yeah, we are going hunting for that Maiasaura. All right, they are towards the back over here. That's perfect. Again, Maiasaura is kind of like the name for good mother, lizard or whatever. I don't know. It's supposed to be a good mother. But yeah, these guys are so adorable. Once again, Maiasaura are just some of the more graceful giants of kind of like the JWE franchise, which is so cool to see. Again, these are actually some of the first animals that you breed in the career mode. Spoiler alert, I guess. And they also have some of the cutest little babies ever. Look at them. Again, I love the color morphs that you can get when you start to get like a bunch of these guys together. It just looks so cool. All right, we only have 4 in here, and I'm just trying to find like the correct name, the Pachycephalosaurids. Yep, that is correct. Let's start looking for these guys. Let's start off with the actual Pachycephalosaurus. Here's a little baby. Again, I love how the babies look. They just look so good. From there, we can also see some of the adults. actually, no, that's not an adult. This is an adult. Here we go. That's one of the males right in there, and we can also check out the female right in here. Again, a whole bunch of different color morphs for these guys, and they just make such a beautiful little habitat in here. Not only them, though, we also have Ankylosaurids. These guys are the cuter versions of the Pachycephalosaurus. Again, these guys were always such a big fan favorite in JWE2, so it's just so awesome to see them come to light once again. Very beautiful textures. You can get so many awesome color variants with these guys. Once you start mixing and matching, it just looks so good. Stygimoloch, these guys are kind of like the uglier versions of the Pachycephalosaurus. They're just a lot more rigid. They're just a lot more spiky. It's kind of cool. But yep, they are just another Pachycephalosaurid. You can see the males have like a little bit more of these big crests on their head, which is kind of cool. And we can actually see some animations in here of them kind of headbutting. That's so cool. But yeah, that is pretty much it for them. And there should be one more if I could find them. All right, we got Homolocephaly. Stegosaurus. There we go. So Stegosaurus, I don't really know why they're in here. I feel like it kind of makes sense. They kind of look like a Pachycephalosaurid, but they look a little bit more of like, you know, a Ceratopsid kind of. I don't know. Maybe it's kind of like the missing link, but these guys are so cool. They're also known as the taco, which is very cute, very adorable. But yeah, these guys are known for the little quills on the back. They're known for the beak on their front. And yeah, they're just such an incredible little critter in here. I just love them so much. But apparently not enough to know what kind of genus they come from, which is always a shame. But yeah, these guys are super adorable. One of the smaller ones in this game, and they also have some very small babies, which is so cool. Again, a bunch of different color morphs on these guys, which goes such a long way. We are finding our way into the Stegosaurids right over here. We are going to check out the Gigantspinosaurus. I never know how to pronounce this, and I know there's a tool that has like the pronunciation, but I don't care. These guys are so awesome. They're just this very cool spiky little animal in here. Feel like you could grab each one of those spikes and ride them like a horse. But yeah, they are just such a cool little critter in here. Again, they do have juveniles in here, which are very adorable. Again, those very small bumps on their body. Very cool stuff. So not only them, but we also do have the Stegoceratops. Great, another hybrid. Love to see it. It's so good. But yeah, again, Stegosaurus Triceratops hybrid. What else is there to say? Like, I won't deny they do look badass, but like, come on, like, I don't care. There are different versions of them too. Actually, no, I lied. I lied to you guys. I'm kidding. There's only that one variant. But besides them, we should also have, there's something else in here. Come on. Yeah, there should be Chunkingosaurus in here, and there should be just Chunkingosaurus and Stegosaurus. Well, we could check out Stegosaurus right over here. Again, here's the little baby in here. They look so cute. Love that. Not only them, but we also do have the adults if we could actually find one. Here we go. Again, these guys also have their unique movie versions as well, but my favorite parts about these guys are the different kind of color morphs that you can get as you kind of mix and match them. You can get some really unique looking individuals, and from there, you could actually come over here to the appeal tab and actually favorite whatever patterns kind of come out in the randomizer so that you can kind of make them every so often. Like, for example, I love this one over here, so I'm just going to favorite that. And yeah, actually, no, I lied. That's just in case if something comes up, but you can take a screenshot of that if you really want to. All right, Chunkingosaurus, these guys are very tiny, it seems. Yeah. So yep, it's just another kind of like Chinese Stegosaurid right in here. Very cool stuff. They also should have the babies right in here. Look at them. So adorable. Again, just some very cute looking dinosaurs in here. But we are starting to get into the weirder and scarier territory. We're going to start off strong with the Therizinosaurs. Again, from the last of the trilogy of Jurassic World. Very beautiful critter right in here. I remember when these guys came out for JWE2. That was a very fun moment. That was a very fun DLC. But yeah, you can see the little baby right in here. I love how well they came out. That's so cool. But yeah, they also have a bunch of different color morphs in here. They look like just big old parrots, which is so cool. And again, you get those very awesome big claws on there that they'd use for either defense or kind of like bring branches down and stuff. I don't know. So yeah, this is our weird critter kind of area. So we can start over here again with our Lystrosaurus. These guys are so adorable. I'm a big fan of Ark when it came out, and these guys were always one of my favorites to have in my little base camp. But listen, these guys are so much cuter than the ones they have in Ark. I am so sorry. But yes, you have both the movie version of these guys, which I think, oh my god, that is too damn cute. They look like a little pug. That is disgusting. I love that. But yeah, you have little babies in here. Again, they just look disgustingly adorable. I don't know. Movie version, and you also have a bunch of different colored versions in here. You can switch them, match, and do whatever you want with them. Stick them in a blender. Oh, you don't care. Besides them, we also have the Oviraptor. Here's the movie version right in here. Again, very beautiful feathers on these guys. But again, you can mix and match these to your heart's content. You can make these nice kind of brown looking ones, or you can make some very beautiful kind of brightly colored ones right over here. Again, a lot of these variants you've already seen in JWE2, and we'll talk about the improvements that this game has over that. Right now, we're kind of just going through all the dinosaurs at first. But yeah, that should be it for our weird boys. Yep, Lystrosaurus, Oviraptor, Therizinosaurs. Yep, that covers it. All right, we're getting into the pescatarians over here, the Piscivores. We're going to start off nice and strong over here with the Spinoraptor. Again, it's another great hybrid. Love to see it. I don't know. I'm just not too involved in Camp Cretaceous or like Jurassic World as a concept to really care about the hybrids too much, but they look cool. Like, I'm not going to deny that they look cool, but I'm just not the biggest fan of the hybrids. Hybrids also can't breed, by the way, so just keep that in mind if you are introducing them to your park. However, this is what everyone cares about. These are the handsome boys. These are the Spinosauruses. Again, they actually do deep swim, which is very cool. This guy's kind of just chilling in the water right now, kind of like a mean old crocodile. I mean, just look at that. I also forgot that I kind of sent the Cretaceous cruise right through here. So, you know, your little guy can just swim right up there. Frontier, listen, if you're listening, guys, if we could get like a sprint button on these little vehicles, that would be great. I don't know. I feel like it'd be fun to run away from these. But yeah, the Spinosaurus does look very handsome. Again, you can see them kind of compared to a person right next to them. That is kind of freaking terrifying. Oh my word. But yeah, it's a very beautiful looking dinosaur right in there. Not only that, but we also do have a bunch of other ones. We have the Suchomimus. These guys just look very handsome. Again, very beautiful texture work on these guys. Once again by Frontier, and very awesome variants in here. You really love to see it. I also do have a couple babies in here. Look at them. Again, it just looks great. Look at that. Oh my word, he looks like candy corn. That is just very cool. Spinosaurus juvenile. That looks great. Oh, he just sneezed. So bless you. But yeah, that is so cool. I love that. Okay. So besides the Suchomimus, we also should have the Baryonyx. Again, we could not have this game without the Baryonyx. I know how important these guys are to kind of like the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World lore. But yeah, you can see a nice little interaction happening between these guys right now. Again, that just looks so cool. Oh my word. Again, just a really awesome dinosaur in here. You have a little male sleeping right here. I do have a couple of these versions, which are kind of like movie versions or whatever. You have the little baby in here. Very adorable. Oh, he's a little scratched up. That's not that good. All right, so you do have the Chaos skin over here. I'm not sure if its name was Chaos in Camp Cretaceous, but it does look fairly cool. I'll give him that. Again, it's those movie skins that I think have so much more detail on them. I just wish they could take that detail and plop it right into the kind of randomized ones. That'd be so cool. But yeah, it's so cool seeing these guys kind of side by side. That is just so cool. Yeah, those are Suchomimus and Baryonyx. Very cool. All right, let me just double check that I saw everything in here. Suchomimus, Spinosaurus. We also got the Spinoraptor. Yep, saw them. Spinosaurus, Suchomimus. Perfect. Let's find our way into hybrid territory. Let's just get this out of the way. Indoraptor from the Fallen Kingdom movie. Again, Fallen Expectations. I don't know. Very cool critter over here, though. I like the quills on it. That's pretty awesome. I do have plans to introduce these guys to a park that I'm currently working on right now. They do have a bunch of variants in here. You can only breed one at a time, so it's kind of tough to get a nice randomized assortment going, which is a shame, but those guys are pretty cool. I think the Indoraptor, no, that was literally what we just looked at. Where are the weird ones? Indominus Rex, here we go. Again, from Jurassic World 1. These guys are pretty damn cool. Again, these guys just look awesome. I don't know. But still, they're a hybrid, so I have this small distaste towards them. Still, Claire Daring worked on it, so how could I hate it? So we do have them, but we also have Scorpius Rex right in here. They are kind of testing the fence over here. Very ugly creature. Very ugly creature. I do not like these guys one bit. I think this is the reason why I will not watch Camp Cretaceous, because these are just disgusting. Please tell me why. Just why. Still, a bunch of different variants on them. Very cool stuff. Now, we're starting to get into the big boys right over here. Let's start off strong. Tyrannosaurus Rex. These guys look really good. I'm just going to start circling through all the different variants. You guys probably know, as Jurassic fans, who they are. We just saw an interaction between the T-Rex and the Gigantosaurus. Gigantosaurus? Gigantosaurus. There we go. That's pretty cool to see that. But yeah, we have Buck in here. We have Rexy. We have everyone. We have the 65 million years ago one somewhere. Right there. Oh, okay. Bring me back here. That's great. And a bunch of them are kind of stuck in the kind of hatchery, which is great. Yeah, too many damn T-Rexes. Too many. But besides the T-Rex, we do have the Acrocanthosaurus. These guys are awesome. These guys are awesome. Again, just some really awesome clean textures on these guys. They just look fantastic. I have not had any breed yet, probably because I don't have any nests in here. But yeah, they're pretty cool. Besides that, we also have the Gigantosaurus. Again, Gigantosaurus, however you want to pronounce it. I'm sure there is a correct way, and I'm sure whatever way I say is the incorrect way. But these guys look so awesome. Again, they're kind of just waiting for the next kayaker to kind of make their way through here. But again, a bunch of different variants in here. You have the movie version right there, but you can also get some very bright color variants as well. You'll love to see it. Okay, and I think that should cover it for the large dinosaurs. Those were all the large theropods. Yep, large carnivores. Those are all 3 of them. Very cool stuff in there, but this is where I truly lose my mind. Let's get started. Carnotaurus, these guys are awesome. Everyone loves a Carnotaurus. Everyone does. I don't know anyone who doesn't love the Carnotaurus. Again, these guys have a bunch of different color variants in here because, again, Carnotaurus has been kind of like the star of the show, kind of like the side character of the show in Jurassic World, Jurassic Park for the longest time. But yeah, they just look so good. I love all these different color variants. You can see them fighting right over there. That's pretty cool. Not only them, but we also do have Ceratosaurus. These guys have that little horn in the middle of their head. Very cool stuff. It just looks awesome. I love these guys. They look badass. But besides them, we also have the Troodon. Very cool critter over here. I'm not sure if anyone else has played Jurassic World the game. No, Jurassic Park the game. The Telltale one from long ago. Oh my word. But I remember the Troodon were kind of like the antagonizing force behind that game too, which is always so fun to see. But these guys just look so good as always. You really can't go wrong with these animals. Besides them, we also have the Pyroraptor. This looks disgusting. This is disgusting. This looks like uncooked chicken. I don't know. But besides that one, we also have that one doesn't look too much better. That really doesn't. Maybe. Okay, here we go. We actually have the movie version. That's great. Again, just a very classic kind of looking Velociraptor-esque critter in there. Dimetrodon, these guys are so adorable. I love them. Again, I like my Synapsids so much. I like the weirder critters. Here's the movie version right in there. And again, so many different color variants in case if you want a very diverse habitat or if you want a very unanimous habitat with some very bright colors. You have all the access to that. It's very cool. Atrociraptor, very cool stuff in here. Yeah, it just looks like any other Jurassic raptor that you could come to expect. Again, I think these guys were in a movie, right? Atrociraptor, were these guys the ones that were genetically engineered to attack anything? I don't remember it all. They just add so many dumb animals to those. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, these guys have a bunch of different skins named after like cats and stuff like that. But they also do have your classic kind of like the pattern skins and stuff. It's very cool, but that looks so cool. I don't know. It's just very cool. I like their blocky head. The more I look at these stupid hybrids, the more I like them. But yeah, moving on from there, Albertosaurus. Yep, it's an Albertosaurus, all right. It looks very cool and it has a little 2 crests on the head. Very awesome stuff in there. Dilophosaurus, here we have that movie version from 2022. Again, it looks fairly handsome. But besides them, we also do have the different kinds of variants of them. Again, just mixing all those different genomes together, you can get some really awesome kind of color variants in here. They're kind of trudging through the water right now, which is pretty fun to see. But yeah, they just look great. I love it. All right, we are starting to lose what we need next. Coelophysis, again, classic kind of early Jurassic, I want to say. Or is it Triassic? I don't remember. But these guys just look so cool. I don't know. I like them. I like these little guys. They're just handsome. So yeah, we also have, if we can go to the site map right over here, we have something. Oh, Metracanthosaurus. Sure, we can check these guys out. Again, just a very cool looking kind of theropod. These guys look cool. Like, I don't know what else there is to say. Couple different versions of these guys in here with the different skins, different patternings. Again, they just look so cool. Again, I'm not really too into dinosaurs too much to tell you the differences between these, but I can say, hey, they look kind of cool. Herrerasaurus, these guys are fairly awesome. I do like the shape of these guys. I made a habitat for these guys a little while ago in JWE2. Maybe I'll do it again this time. Who knows? But yeah, it's just a very handsome looking dinosaur once again. All right, Moros. Oh God, Moros intrepidus. Is this the smallest Tyrannosaurus that's ever existed? Is that it? Is that what these guys are? I remember reading about these guys somehow. Somehow it came up. Do we have like a Zoopedia in here? Okay, we do not, and I lost my space. That is so good. We love to see it. Oh, man, what else? Quinechosaurus, I think. These guys are pretty neat. Again, is another Chinese dinosaur. I love the Chinese dinosaurs because they always have something going on. Like these weird kind of like facial bumps. They just look awesome. I don't know. It's so cool. Again, these guys have a bunch of different color morphs. And again, it kind of affects the little highlight points on their body. So like these little eyebrows that they have going on. It's very neat. Oh, here we go. The tadpole. Well, no longer the tadpole anymore. The Deinonychus. I am so sad that the kind of old version is no longer the star of the show because they look so stupid. How can you not love them? But of course, everyone likes a more realistic approach to these dinosaurs. I do, at least. And they just look so awesome with the feathers. They just look awesome. And again, those eyes. Look at those eyes. They're very striking. All right. So from there, we can check out our Velociraptors. I think this should be it. Again, the Velociraptors come with all of those different skins that you would come to expect. We have, I don't know, is this blue? I assume it's blue. It's either blue or Charlie or something. Delta right in there. We have the classic. No, that's not the classic. That's the 1990. Is that the classic? I think it might be. Huh. Very interesting stuff. I don't know. But yeah, Velociraptors, they come in a whole bunch of different color morphs and stuff. You can mix and match to your heart's content. You got that really awesome JW31. Jurassic Park 31. Sorry. So sorry. But yeah, they actually do have male-female versions, which is kind of cool. And whatever male ones, like for example, the male Tyrannosaur in here, which I am too scared to go and find, that is Buck. And the other one is whatever Doe, I think it was. So yeah, lots of dinosaurs in here. We are not done yet. I think we actually do need our little boys, wherever they are. Oh, Ceratopsids. Again, very cool critter. These guys are always awesome to see. I like the little crest on their head. They're just very cool. And I do think they do have sexual dimorphism. Once again, all of these do have sexual dimorphism. As little or as much as it is, these guys have a little bit more of a bigger crest on the males. All right, so I released some compies in here, but I don't know where they went. And Jesus Christ, look at all the dinosaurs. Oh, that's great. That is so good. I love that. That's actually really good. Utahraptor. Forgot to show these guys off. Again, very awesome look on these guys. Very beautiful feathering on these. It just looks so good. And you can mix and match the textures on here to really stand out. It's so cool. Concavenator. Again, one of my favorites. One of my personal favorites. Very cool critter in here. It's just like weird shaped dinosaurs, and these guys really do take the bill. I never noticed that the males have quills, and they also have a little bit more of a bumpier appearance. That's really cool. Oh man, love it. You know what else I love? Compies, and I think I'm just gonna release a few right now. But yeah, I think we kind of covered everything. Tyrannus, I think we need to go check out, and that should be it. So yeah, we can release all these guys right in here, and bada bing, bada boom. They are ready for takeoff. God, my game is so laggy right now. It's actually insane. But yeah, we also have a bunch of little compies in here. They do their little thing. They hop around and they can breed, which is very fun to see. But yeah, compies. How can you not love them? They're just adorable. All right, so from there, we can check out the Aquatics. Now we are going to check out the Mosasaurus right here, right now. Again, very handsome looking guy in here. I'm really just gonna blow through these because they really haven't changed much. But yeah, Mosasaurus looks great. Once again, very happy that we have these guys in here. We have 2 different versions of them, which is always cool. We also have the Attenborosaurus. That one was the deluxe edition animal for the JWE2, but it's officially kind of like for everyone in this one. So if you missed that deluxe edition, congratulations. You can finally use the Attenborosaurus. So happy for you. All right, moving on. We also have the Ichthyosaurus. These guys just really good fodder for a park. I don't know. It's just so awesome. They look so cool. I love Ichthyosaurs so much. Really wish they were still around. They are just handsome. Dunkleosteus. Again, this is our first kind of bony fish, I believe, in JWE, which is very exciting. But yeah, Dunkleosteus. You guys probably know everything there is to know about them. Again, this is the JWE version. If you really wanted a realistic version, well, I guess you would shrink them down. I don't know. I didn't read the paper. So yeah, they have a bunch of different forms in there. We have the Kronosaurus. These guys are very cool. Again, a very handsome looking critter in here. They just have that nice crocodilian look about them, which is always so cool to see. I love aquatic reptiles so much. They look so cool, but not as much as I love the Megalodon. These guys are handsome. Again, these guys can actually have babies too, which is so cool. I remember seeing that little video from Frontier on that. But yeah, these guys just look incredible. I love me a good Megalodon. Very cool stuff. And last but not least, we also have the Plesiosaurus for the base game of Jurassic World Evolution 3. Just a very basic kind of plesiosaur. It's awesome. How can you hate it? And I think that should be it. There are, yep, that is pretty much it. They look great. They look great. All right, moving on to the Fliers in here. We have the Quetzalcoatlus. Again, the largest flying dinosaur to have ever lived. Very cool stuff in here. You have a bunch of different versions of these guys. You have the movie version and you have a bunch of like Frontier versions, which is very cool to see. And they do walk on the land, which is a new change, which I completely forgot about, but I'm seeing it right now, which we could check out with the Tropicana, sure. Tropiognathus. I hope I pronounced that right. Yeah, these guys are super cool. Again, some very cool color morphs on these guys. Once again, that's my favorite thing about JWE over Planet Zoo and stuff, is so many different color morphs that you can just choose. Like, you can choose what comes out. Thanatos Drakon, very cool pterosaur right over here. Again, I don't know what else there is to say. They look pretty cool, and they have some very cool kind of color morphs, which is always awesome. Geosternbergia. Again, these names, they're just getting crazier and crazier. But yeah, these guys look awesome. Again, that big upturned bill just looks so fun. Again, just a very handsome looking dinosaur right in here. But my favorite in here has to go to the Tapejara. These guys, wherever they are, they just look like giant birds. And that to me, I absolutely love. Yeah, and they just look so cool. Again, I don't know. I can't tell if they've been upgraded since JWE 2, but they just look great. They just look great. Newest one in here as well, Kyujara, I think is how it's pronounced. Again, those beautiful feathers on the body right in there makes it stand out from the Tapejara because it's just so cool. It looks so realistic. But yeah, they have a bunch of different color morphs in here, and I love that big sail on their head. It just looks awesome. And we should have the final one in here. Pteranodon, Tapejara. We have the Thanatos, Dimorphodon. There we go, the little babies. So yeah, Dimorphodon, again, very big standout species from the original Jurassic World. It's just so cute. It is just so cute. Again, these guys have a bunch of different variants in here. It just looks good. It just looks good. And yeah, they can actually sit on the ground, which is very fun stuff. But that kind of covers it for kind of like the overview of all the animals. Again, I could get into a little bit more depth of like what these animals will actually look like on a skin-to-skin basis. But from here, you can check out this map for yourselves once you actually do get the game. If you do get the game, we'll kind of talk about my kind of like takes on the game in just a little bit. But I'm I'm going to save this right here, and we are going to jump into a new sandbox and check out some of the other features. All right, first of all, we can talk about the biggest feature for me, at least, is the Frontier Workshop. This is the newest feature to the Jurassic World franchise, and I am so happy about this. And I can already see some people doing some great stuff on here. I did this for a video before, but yeah, people are already doing some really awesome things in here. I can already see like some incredible creators in here, including some people doing some JPOG stuff. I am absolutely getting that. And yeah, this is how the workshop works. You pop in here, you see, hey, Evolution Squares made a bridge. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to install it. And hell, I'll even favorite it because that's just a nice thing to do. I've already uploaded a few in here, and it's very simple to upload stuff to the workshop. I have some very silly ones right in here. I also have some very neat ones right in here. But yeah, this was one of my favorite ones in here, the Extinct Research Lab. But yeah, it's just very simple to actually upload stuff onto the workshop, and it's very awesome to actually download parks on the workshop. Again, I have some right in here, and we can actually pop into these. All you have to do is just go to sandbox right over here if it is a sandbox map, and all the way down here should be all of like the ones that you've installed. We can check out some of these other ones. Actually, no. We're going to go to the island generator because this is so fun, guys. Oh my word. So yeah, you can pop right in here, and we're going to check out the island generator, one of the newest features to this game. I recorded a kind of overview of this game before. It was very lax. It wasn't really scripted. I didn't really have a goal, and I forgot about this entirely. So we're going to go over this. All right, island generator. This is a returning kind of thing from JPOG, which is very fun to see. But essentially, this is how you can get your island map. You can go very simple over here and generate a very big blank island, or you could get very freaky with it. You could get very fun with it, very challenging with it, and make a park kind of like this, depending on what factors you put in here. It's going to affect where you can build and how you can build. Anything that you see that's ocean water, which is that very bright teal, you won't be able to build on. So if you are hoping to have a big diverse island, be sure to have like it kind of turned down to either 2 to 3. That's kind of what I found to be the best kind of parameters. Mountains you can always kind of terraform around. I would keep some on just so that you have a little bit of interest, but you can also keep water all the way up so you can have some nice big lakes, or you could go all the way lower, which is very interesting. So basically when it comes to this entire thing is you can't really mess with this stuff once you're actually in the game, but you can mess with this stuff. So just be sure that you kind of try this stuff out and just give it a whirl. Just give it a whirl. You can click next island to kind of randomize everything. Just make sure that you get whatever you're looking for. For example, this is kind of what I want to build on. Maybe just like with a little bit more trees and a little bit less mountains. And then I think that should be good. So let's go ahead and start our little overview, and you just jump right in, which is so welcomed. So from here, we can actually start to decorate and kind of work with our terrain tools, which is going to be the first thing that we'll talk about in here. And one of the first things I do want to bring up is the new water features. Again, water has been significantly improved. You can see we both have shallow and deep water, and not only that, but we also have falling water in the term of waterfalls. Very cool stuff. So it is a little finicky, I found, to kind of get your waterfall set up. I'm really trying to figure it out, but I do believe that you need the intensity and the slope turned all the way up, and that should allow you to kind of edge your way into kind of like these waters. Yeah, into these waters. That makes sense. But yeah, you can kind of play around with it as much as you want. Again, this works so much better than like Zoo Tycoons, honestly, because you can do these nice kind of flowing rivers, which I think is super awesome. You just have to be very meticulous with it. Kind of have to go step by step to kind of get that approach going. So you can kind of select your best in the middle of these two layers, and you can see right there, I was able to get it right there. Oh man. but still, you can play around with that as much as you can. You can get some really, really awesome looking effects, and the water just beautifully kind of like flows right over. I have no idea how they were able to do this. Like, me as a like game enthusiast and kind of like game modder, no idea how that works, but that is just so cool. Again, you can make some really, really beautiful looking environments with this water, and it just turns out so good. I don't know, I'm so happy that this is here, not only because like our JWE parks are gonna look great, but hey, this bodes very well for Planet Zoo too. Though Planet Zoo's water is volumetric, so translating that, I'm not sure how it's gonna work, but we will see. All right, that covers it for the water portion. The environment portion, again, you got your classic kind of terrain brushes in here. You got a whole bunch of like your acquired ones for your animals. You got your fruit, your vegetation, your nut, and you also got a remove tool, which is very helpful. You have cover and pasture, which is a little bit more of like your aesthetics kind of. A bunch of dinosaurs do require cover and pasture, both equally as so. But from there, you can actually start to decorate your parks with whatever you want. Whole bunch of different ways to kind of mess with this stuff in here, and one of the coolest things about these brushes is that once you actually do start putting these on cliff sides, it'll actually paint rocks on them too, which is very awesome. You can see it especially well with like boulder waste. You can see it with the sand in here, which is very cool. I love that little mix right in there. That just works so well. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of different environments that you can bring into light in here, which is very cool, especially the new ones, I believe, which are these swamps. You can kind of decorate your habitats with these with a whole bunch of different kind of presets in here. You have bogs, which are a little bit more muddy. Actually, no, you have marshes, which are a little bit more muddy. Bogs are like kind of a little bit more grassy. Swamp, of course, has a lot more foliage. And East Asian grassland, that kind of has this beautiful kind of soaked mud look on everything. Very cool look in there. And again, it's just a very awesome tool in case if you don't want to get like a completely flooded habitat with like all that water, you can use this in place of that, and it just looks so cool. I mean, just look at that. It just looks like gross stagnant water. Here we have environmental feeders. Again, these are pretty much what you would come to expect. Marine fish feeder, marine shark feeder for the lagoons. You also do have the fish feeders. You can only place these in shallow water. You have the meat feeder, and you also have the live prey feeder. We'll have a goat running around here, sure. You have your painting, which is very fun. You can kind of paint your habitats to your heart's content. Again, this affects your animal's welfare, so it does take into account like, oh, if your animal needs more arid environment, this will actually help them with that. If your animal needs more pasture, this will help them. More grass, etc., etc. Very awesome brushes in here, and it is dependent on whatever map you do choose. I'm using kind of tropical in here. Again, tropical is the only map that you can use for the island generator. Hoping they kind of expand that. I would love to do kind of like an Arctic island. Well, to be honest, I really wouldn't. That does not sound fun to me. But hey, maybe someone would, and maybe we should give them the option. All right, terrain tools right in here. Environment, you can do slopes. So you can do ramps, which I believe, if I have this correct, you can do dynamic ramp. You can kind of select it going in here. Why is this not work? Okay, cool. Yep, it just makes a nice kind of grading slope on there, which is very cool. Again, people are very excited for that, but honestly, like, it's fine. Like, it's fine. Me personally, I love these tools in here. Again, I just wish it would be a little bit easier to use, but I love doing terrain kind of like this. I use my flatten tool, I use my roughen tool, kind of give it a little bit more variation, and then I pop in here and I use the smooth tool just to even it all out. I think that comes out with a lot more cooler environments personally. And then if you want to roughen it up, you absolutely can. You can come right up here, roughen all that up, smooth it out, and you can get some really awesome looking vistas in there. Keep in mind it will affect water, and there isn't really a kind of tool to affect that, which is a little bit of a shame. You have lower terrain to flat, which is essentially a slow, like, it's like a surface tool, I believe. You have raised terrain to flat, so anything that is below this, it will raise it to whatever level you're working on. And same goes for the opposite one. It will only affect items above it, but nothing below it, which is kind of interesting. I like that. It's a very handy tool. Smooth top. This will only smooth out the tops of kind of like slopes and kind of like cliffs. Meanwhile, you also have slope bottom, which will only affect like the bottom of it, which is kind of neat. I don't know, it's very handy, especially because environments and like your habitats don't need to be completely enclosed by fences now. You can actually have cliffs that contain dinosaurs, which is kind of interesting. That pretty much covers it for environment. Again, there's a whole bunch of different stuff for you to discover in here. Again, you can kind of mix and match things to your heart's content. You can make these very beautiful looking kind of environments, but yeah, that's pretty much that. Pathways have been not completely rehauled because it's still the same old JWE pathways, but you can actually have flexi-color paths, which is very cool. You can flexi-color not only them, but the curbs as well. You can have this very disgusting looking pathway if you really so want that. But besides that, you have a bunch of different kinds of textures in here. You have your different kinds of thoroughfares. You have your stone. You have your rustic, you have your square tiles. I love that one. It just looks so cool, so modern. You have your classic main, etc., luxury. I remember JWE only had only 3 pathways. And look where we are now. Coarse sand, if you really want that. It doesn't look the best, but that's totally fine. But you also have null natural paths as well. You can also have these ones that kind of like are completely null. So you can have your guests kind of trudging through swamps. I think that's pretty funny. Not really useful, but it's funny. But yeah. Now, I don't know how Evolution Squared is able to do those bridges. Again, I see her posting the stuff on the workshop, but let's actually, am I missing something? Oh, I think it's literally just a bridge. Okay, no, never mind. Oh, hey, listen, Evolution Squared, let me know your secrets, please. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Now we can kind of get into building. So building has been completely overhauled. Now, again, you can play JWE as you typically would, where you place down your prefabs and stuff like that. You can place down your freaking burger joint. You can place down your Margaritaville. You can place down your, whatever this is, cannot flatten. Leave me alone. Yeah, you can place down your hatcheries and stuff like that. However, you can also come in here and you can click on custom design. Now, this would technically work the way it kind of looks. Let me actually get some light in here. God damn. Listen, I love this game. I think it's pretty neat, but come on. We're still doing this like 10 years later? Give me a day-night slider, please, Frontier. I need it. But yeah, we can pop this over here, custom design, and technically, that's all you really need. It looks very ugly, but that's all you really need. And the coolest thing about this too is you can actually move these to different areas. So if you want that on the side of your building, you can absolutely do that. And again, you can still connect that up with the fence tool once again. And yeah, let's just invisible fence it. Terrain too steep my ass. I wish they had null fences. Okay, that's my number one wish list item. But yeah, you can technically connect that up and you can always edit any building whenever you want. All you have to do is just click on that edit building button and you come over here to scenery and you have everything in here. I am not going to go through all of this. Listen, the Dinosaurs was bad enough. If I have to give you a fun fact about wood walls every 5 seconds, I think I might just lose it. But you can decorate these to your heart's content, and that is its own double-edged sword. Now, is it very easy to build? No. That's the thing about like the Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo. It took me a while to learn Planet Coaster 2, coming from over 2,000 hours in Planet Zoo. Because building in these games is not the same for every game. And that is something I need you guys to be aware of. You cannot come in here instantaneously and start building the freaking Mona Lisa. Even though I kind of technically already did with this, but you know, you get what I'm saying. So that is my first kind of main drawback when it comes to Jurassic World Evolution 3, about an hour in of recording. Wow, who would have thought? Is that, sure, you can go ahead and make these all custom. Like, yeah, I really want this nice custom viewing gallery. Or you can come over here and you can just select your viewing gallery that's already pre-made for you. And that to me, like, I don't know. Now, there is the blessing in disguise, which is the Frontier Workshop. So say, for example, that I want like a response facility, but I don't like that one. I also don't like this one, and I also don't like this one. The Frontier Workshop will start to have a bunch of these on, like, as soon as people start playing the game. Like, it's going to be insane. So I have this neon one right in here, which is very cool. It's very strange. I like that. That's made by the JWE team. Really awesome job to them for that. But to me, I personally don't have the time nor kind of like the willpower to go in and start learning a brand new building system for these games from the ground up. It took me a while to learn Planet Zoo. It took me a while to learn Planet Coaster, which are two completely different building styles, mind you. I cannot take the time to learn this one. And that to me, like, I get that, like, it's perfectly fine, but my biggest issue, again, once again, Frontier, comes down to I need to be able to have Boolean search for tags. If I am looking for FlexiColor 4 meter, I should be able to type in Flexi 4M. That should work. However, it doesn't. Like, that to me, I need my little quality of life changes. And that to me is something that this game is sorely lacking in, unfortunately. All right, so that is kind of like the main building tools in this game. They work very well. Like, it's very cool for doing large projects. In fact, we're gonna load into one of the pre-made parks on the Planet Zoo Workshop from the JWE team. And we're just gonna check out some of the other features that they have put in this park that have to do with like the release of the game. All right, so here we are. Again, you can use your monorails to actually connect these, which is very cool. But this is a freaking beautiful park. Big ups to you, Frontier, for this. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of new stuff in here. We'll start off with the balloon tour. You can ride it, which I don't know why it's not operational. Hello? But yeah, balloon tour is one of the newest ones in here. He's actually going. Yep, it is the balloon tour. It looks very cool. You can ride it. It just works very well. Again, it's just a really, really awesome new feature to the game that brings a new kinetic energy to your parks. To me, I have always loved having kinetic energy in my games where it's like, I need something moving, whether it's animals, whether it's coasters, whether it's something else like water. You always need that kind of like moving aspect in your little dioramas. That's why, like, a lot of the times when you see Lego dioramas and stuff like that, there's always stuff moving. And those are always the best ones because it has a little bit more of an interest in your game, you know? You also have the park tours making an appearance once again. These guys are always so cool. However, the newest one in here has to be the Cretaceous Cruise. Here we go. It is a little kayaking simulator. It is the cutest little thing in the world. Again, it is just so fun. You can have these go right into a Spinosaurus exhibit if you so wish. I actually don't think it will allow your guests to actually use it then, because in my test map they weren't using it. But yeah, this is just a really, really awesome little feature in the game. Again, that kinetic energy that brings so much more life to your parks, and interactivity, which I always think is super important. I think that this is a wonderful feature, being able to kind of ride this yourself. I think it is so fun, and it's just another way to interact with your park. Like, that to me is something that's so important, and so, like, it's such a big staple of the Jurassic World franchise, the JWE franchise specifically, where you can use your cars, you can use your response facilities. If you really want, you can ride your helicopter throughout your park and take a little tour. And yeah, that to me is just the best part of it all. Like, just the fact that you are able to explore your game and explore your park that you made with your own two hands however you want is the coolest thing in the world to me. I appreciate that so much. And looking at this, I feel like you could actually keep a T-Rex on here and you wouldn't have any issue. Do they have a hatchery? Okay, while I'm kind of talking about that, we're kind of getting to the point where I start to talk about some of the drawbacks of this game, because I've really showed off most of the main features. The drawbacks of this game, there's a few. First of all, if you are a Planet Zoo player, and you're looking for a Planet Zoo experience, this is not it. Jurassic World Evolution and 2 and 3 are all pretty much the same game. It's just with different assets, different kinds of like goals, different career modes, which the career is really great, guys. The career mode in this game, fantastic. I love it. Oh yeah, you can just put a T-Rex on there. That's good. Let's watch them. But yeah, the career mode in this game is great. I didn't really talk about it too much because there really isn't much to see. It's just something you have to experience it. It's a very good management simulator. I enjoyed that aspect of it. However, the underlying game of this is Jurassic World Evolution. And if you did not like that before, you are not going to like this game now. They didn't add any magic things to make it better. not better. Make it different. Make it a different game. No, it is the same game once again. That's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing in my eyes personally, because I do enjoy these games, at least from like the management side of things, at least from the career side of things, from the park building side of things. But my experience in this game has been, at least JWE 3, has been very difficult. Not bad, it's just difficult. So this blueprint right over here, you would think, oh, like that was probably easy to make. There are no pieces. There are no pieces for doing small guest items, and that to me kind of drives me crazy. Now, there are a bunch of great pre-made assets in here, like these beautiful little lights. They look super good. I might actually include some of these in my park going forward. But yeah, there's a bunch of blueprints in here, which is very good and it's very helpful. Again, the blueprints are essentially your kinds of like your old scenery items from before. And you have some really great ones too. You have like caves that you can kind of scale up and down. Scaling is in this game. I forgot to say that. That's so cool. But the issue is stuff doesn't scale too well. I really wish we could scale even smaller because I would love to build some stuff for guests like on a micro level. But unfortunately, JWE is made for a top-down view mostly. So it's building big. You're building big in this game, and that's not a bad thing personally. I just prefer to build smaller, and that to me is something that will always be something when it comes to JWE, is that it always prioritizes the bigger builds rather than the intricate ones. Now, I do think we are going in a step in the right direction with scaling, with blueprints. I really hope Frontier is able to actually unlock some of these scaling limits, because some of my favorite pieces from way before, these are going to be the, okay, it's under props. Hold on. It is the primitive signs. These are always so useful in every other Frontier game. They're just like these very awesome, very flexible, very versatile pieces that you can make pretty much anything with. But the issue is with these, they don't scale very small. You're still building kind of big. And that to me really sucks, especially as someone who is like, what did Jurassic World do for terrariums and stuff like that? And you can try and build terrariums. Like, this is a fairly decent terrarium size, but you can't get much detailed than that. And that's what really sucks. I would love to see Frontier really take that up a notch, but keep in mind, that is how it works right now. And one of my biggest issues is it works that, like, this game plays a lot how Planet Coaster 2 played on release. And what that means is, if I have two items in here, I can't move these instantly. I'm clicking my M key, if you can hear me. I need to hit confirm. I can't hit my M key because there's no hotkey for move. I need to click advanced move, and I have to click move. Now, you guys might be saying, Leaf, grow up. You're just hitting a couple extra buttons. But that to me, that wastes my time. That wastes my time over stuff that should be in the game currently, which are hotkeys. Hotkeys are super important to my experience in Planet Zoo and Jurassic World Evolution and Planet Coaster, and not having them here is a huge hindrance to how I play the game and a huge hindrance to my enjoyment of the game. Now, I can talk for hours about how I wouldn't say I'm disappointed, but because this is still a great game at its core. Like, I have played how many hours so far? I mean, keep in mind I was away for a week. I have played, 20 hours so far. It's nothing too crazy, but at the end of the day, I come to expect improvements with every single sequel, and there's not to say there's no improvements with this, because we are getting all of like that awesome new DLC experience with like the zip lines and stuff, the hot air balloons, everything in here with the new foliage, the waterfalls. We're getting all that stuff in Jurassic World Evolution 3 for free. Well, not for free, you have to buy the base game still, but that to me is pretty cool. But it's those weird step backs where it's like the hotkeys, where it's like this primitive scenery tab. Like, I understand we want to make this UI as synonymous with how the Jurassic World Evolution players have known it for years at this point, but this to me, this is just so tedious. I don't know. Frontier, if you guys really do listen, I would love to see if we could switch this and bring this down below, just because I don't like the idea of that being on the side. I don't know. It's just so simple to, at least in my eyes, to have this on the bottom for an optimal kind of experience, because right now I feel very claustrophobic. I don't know how to explain it. Now, there is that new marketplace function. I didn't really talk about that. Bad price. Very interesting stuff in there. I don't know. I think that element of randomness is very fun. Yeah, that's really all there was to say about that. Right, let's go back to that mega park. And let's release the dinosaurs and have them fight each other, because I know that's what everyone wants to see. But yeah, overall, my experience with this game so far has been Jurassic World Evolution 3 is a very good game. I'm very happy with it. I'm going to get a bunch of awesome hours out of this game because it's so fun and it's so easy to build a park, and it's so fun to build a park too. But at the end of the day, it's still Jurassic World Evolution 3. If you're hoping a miracle happened where it turned it into Planet Zoo, that's not going to happen, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, because that implies that would be what I would want. I don't want that. I just want to be able to build more small in JWE, but right now the tools don't really allow that to happen. But let's end it here, folks. We are going to go ahead and demolish all these fences containing everything, and we'll see what happens. Just a little fun way to end the video. I know it was kind of a downer ending. Not really downer, but kind of like, oh man, Leaf, you don't love this game. I actually do really like this game, and I'm still gonna have a lot of awesome hours in it going forward. But again, it's just JWE, something preventing them from being deleted. That's great. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. I think we're ready. Let's have them kill each other. We have our first little fight between a Concavinator and a Pyroraptor. There we go. Look who won, the Concavinator, because it's the best. We have a, oh, don't tell me, Proceratosaurus hunting down, I don't know. What is he hunting down? Oh, an Ornithomimids? Oh, this is gonna be bad. Oh, that was cool. That was so cool. Okay, I can see why people like this. Oh, frick. Oh, man, that's sad. I thought that was gonna be a lot more fun. That was a Giganotosaurus versus T-Rex. Damn. Well, at least we have a fight between Triceratops and what are you? Is that Sinoceratops? Yeah. Oh, who's gonna win? I think it's obvious. Yeah. Who would have seen that coming? Oh, good. New eggs. Oh, man. Everyone is out to get everyone in here. Come on. I need more fights. Oh, internal bleeding. That's great. Organ trauma. Awesome. This is just a mess in here. Like, everyone is going crazy. That's good. I like that. Oh, what? Oh, man. Poor Parasaurolophus. Oh, I forgot. There's also, like, the Lux versions of all those dinosaurs. Let's hope that none of them died, because that would be that'd be kind of bad. Okay, first Lux over here. We have Parasaurolophus. That's very cool. They're very pretty. Again, the Lux stuff is from Camp Cretaceous, so I'm not really familiar with it, but they do look very, very pretty, which I think is so cool. I wish we had more Lux. Like, that would be awesome. But not only them, but we also have them right in here. The Indoraptor actually does have a Lux version, which is kind of neat, and he's about to go hand in hand with, oh man, which one is that? Indominus? Yeah, it is. Oh, let's go. Oh, they just yelled at each other. That's great. Come on, I thought something fun was gonna happen. There should be another Lux. Oh well. But as you can see, there's a bunch of dead dinosaurs in here, and there's continuing to be more dead dinosaurs in here as the Eutyrannus kind of wreaks havoc on everything. So that's great. We love to see it. So I think we're going to end it right in here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I always do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on JWE3. As it currently stands, this video has been impressively long. So I'm very curious to see what your thoughts are on this full kind of overview on everything. But with that being said, have the most wonderful, wonderful day. See you all in the next video. Take care. And good freaking bye. Okay, there we go. Okay, bye. Very interesting stuff in there. I don't know. I think that element of randomness is very fun. Yeah, that's really all there was to say about that. Right, let's go back to that mega park. And let's release the dinosaurs and have them fight each other, because I know that's what everyone wants to see. But yeah, overall, my experience with this game so far has been Jurassic World Evolution 3 is a very good game. I'm very happy with it. I'm going to get a bunch of awesome hours out of this game because it's so fun and it's so easy to build a park, and it's so fun to build a park too. But at the end of the day, it's still Jurassic World Evolution 3. If you're hoping a miracle happened where it turned it into Planet Zoo, that's not going to happen, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, because that implies that would be what I would want. I don't want that. I just want to be able to build more small in JWE, but right now the tools don't really allow that to happen. But let's end it here, folks. We are going to go ahead and demolish all these fences containing everything, and we'll see what happens. Just a little fun way to end the video. I know it was kind of a downer ending. Not really downer, but kind of like, oh man, Leaf, you don't love this game. I actually do really like this game, and I'm still gonna have a lot of awesome hours in it going forward. But again, it's just JWE, something preventing them from being deleted. That's great. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. I think we're ready. Let's have them kill each other. We have our first little fight between a concavinator and a pyroraptor. There we go. Look who won, the concavinator, because it's the best. We have a, oh, don't tell me, Proceratosaurus hunting down, I don't know. What is he hunting down? Oh, an Ornithomimids? Oh, this is gonna be bad. Oh, that was cool. That was so cool. Okay, I can see why people like this. Oh, frick. Oh, man, that's sad. I thought that was gonna be a lot more fun. That was a Giganotosaurus versus T-Rex. Damn. Well, at least we have a fight between Triceratops and what are you? Is that Sinoceratops? Yeah. Oh, who's gonna win? I think it's obvious. Yeah. Who would have seen that coming? Oh, good. New eggs. Oh, man. Everyone is out to get everyone in here. Come on. I need more fights. Oh, internal bleeding. That's great. Organ trauma. Awesome. This is just a mess in here. Like, everyone is going crazy. That's good. I like that. Oh, what? Oh, man. Poor Parasaurolophus. Oh, I forgot. There's also like the Lux versions of all those dinosaurs. Let's hope that none of them died, because that would be that'd be kind of bad. Okay, first Lux over here. We have Parasaurolophus. That's very cool. They're very pretty. Again, the Lux stuff is from Camp Cretaceous, so I'm not really familiar with it. But they do look very, very pretty, which I think is so cool. I wish we had more Lux. Like, that would be awesome. But not only them, but we also have them right in here. The Indoraptor actually does have a Lux version, which is kind of neat. And he's about to go hand in hand with, oh man, which one is that? Indominus? Yeah, it is. Oh, let's go. Oh, they just yelled at each other. That's great. Come on, I thought something fun was gonna happen. There should be another Lux. Oh well. But as you can see, there's a bunch of dead dinosaurs in here, and there's continuing to be more dead dinosaurs in here as the Eutyrannus kind of wreaks havoc on everything. So that's great. We love to see it. So I think we're going to end it right in here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I always do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on JWE3. As it currently stands, this video has been impressively long. So I'm very curious to see what your thoughts are on this full kind of overview on everything. But with that being said, have the most wonderful day. See you all in the next video. Take care and good frickin' bye. Okay, there we go. Okay, bye.